Hey chillers, welcome back to my channel. It's Devin. How's it going? So today I am reading part 4 of There's Something Wrong with My Fiancé. So we'll just jump straight into it. Again, I will leave a link to the story down below in the description. Alright. I apologize for the delay in updating, guys, but I assure you, I'm not dead. Not yet, at least. Also, the misspelling of my name on my last post was just a typo. I was very tired. A lot has happened in the past few days. I can't tell if we are getting closer to answers or farther away, but I know we are heading somewhere. Mark left bright and early yesterday morning with a promise of calling me as soon as he got there. He's going to Chicago. By all accounts, I had a pretty uneventful day for the most part. I went to work at the kennel, I went home for a fast shower, I went to the bar for my night shift, and then things got a little weird. Early on in my shift, a creepy-looking man strolled into the bar. I'm always on high alert with customers, especially after some of the horror stories I've read about crazy customers attacking their servers in a fit of rage. We were pretty busy with the dinner rush, though, so I lost track of him after the hostess escorted him into the main dining room. This was probably around 5:30 or so. Around 9, I see the same man come back into the bar, this time sitting up at one of the high-top bar tables way back in the corner, all alone. At this point, I again lose track of him as I'm working on liquor restocking. Wow, that's bad. Which required me to go down to the basement liquor storage multiple times. When I finally finished with all that, I glance back at his table and see that he's gone. Sorry, my nose itches really bad. But an empty glass and some money sits on the table, so at least I know I didn't imagine him being there. Finally, around 11, I go outside to smoke while I wait for the manager to be ready to count my drawer and send me home. I see a lighter spark out of the corner of my eye, and turn to find that this same creepy man is lighting a cigar and leaning against a very nice yet old car parked in part of the lot that the light posts don't reach. It looks like a 50s Cadillac of some sort. I finished my cigarette quickly and hurried back inside. I made one of the busboys walk with me out to my car when I left just to be safe, but the man was gone. I realized when I got home around midnight that I still had not heard from Mark. I tried calling him, and it went straight to voicemail. After making sure the volume was all the way up in case he called, I went to bed. It was a very restless night. Every time I started to doze off, I would be awoken by strange noises all around the apartment, tapping at the windows like pebbles being tossed, what sounded like footsteps, but above me, which would mean someone was on the roof in the middle of the night. An eerie, gentle knocking at the front door. Of course, no one was there when I looked through the peephole around the apartment, but never in the apartment. Today I was off from work in the morning, so I slept in as much as I could. When I finally dragged myself out of bed around noon, I still had not heard from Mark. I tried calling again, but again, it went straight to voicemail. I went down to check the mail and noticed the same car from last night parked a little bit down the block. I wasn't sure as I walked to the mailboxes, but after a good long look at the car at the driver's door opened and the man from the bar gracefully stepped out. Did this creep really follow me home last night? Had he been the one making all the noises around my apartment last night? Was this the mysterious Detective Smith? I rushed back inside and locked the door. I called Detective Jones hysterical and choked out the story about this man between shaking sobs. He said it would be over as soon as possible and to lock all the doors and windows in the meantime. Stay away from the windows so I couldn't be seen, and that he would call me when he arrived so I knew it was safe. They spelled it wrong. When he got there, he informed me that there was an officer searching the area for the car I described. He asked me a lot about the man. I described him as best as I could, but truth be told, I hadn't got a good look at him. All I knew that he was driving a black Cadillac DeVille coupe. I'm no car expert, but Mark is, and I got a much better look at the car in the daylight. And that's classic, also one of Mark's favorites. His dream car. That's weird. The officer returned to report that no such car had been found in the immediately surrounding area, but that they would be keeping an eye out for him. Jones thanked the officer and sent him on his way, but Jones himself did not leave. He asked me very sincerely if we could talk for a few minutes off the police record. I said of course. He told me that beyond the phone and wallet being found, there have been no new leads turned up on Smith's disappearance. He said that it appears that they had simply been thrown off the side of the road into the water and carried downstream. and that he's not optimistic as some about finding a body washed up somewhere farther down the stream. Then he asked me the weirdest question. What do you think is going on, Nikki? I told him the truth, that I had absolutely no idea. I had never heard of Ian Smith a week ago, and now suddenly I'm involved in his disappearance. Or at least I was until his cell phone was recovered. I told him that it was all very confusing and overwhelming. Then he asked me an even harder question. What do you think this has to do with Mark? I almost answered with the same "I don't know" that I've been using for every question this man asked me. Man, I cannot talk. Where was I? But then I thought a little bit harder. I told him that if I had to hazard a guess, I would have to say that Mark and Ian probably knew each other, or at least had known each other at one point. I told him that if they had known each other, Mark had never mentioned it. But if Mark had never mentioned him, they must not have been friends, or at least not close. But that still didn't explain why he was calling me. Detective Jones smiled a strange, sad-looking smile and told me to be careful and to call him if anything else happened. Mark's mom called me while I was getting ready for work. Surprisingly, she didn't ask about Mark, which was nice because I don't know what I would have told her if she had asked me when I had last heard from him. I wouldn't have wanted to tell her the truth and worry her, but I couldn't lie to this woman who has welcomed me into her family like one of her own children. No, she just asked how I was feeling, how work was going, basic small talk. Then right before she hung up, she said something that threw me off. She said, "You know, it's funny Mark went to Chicago for training. That's where he is originally from." I knew that Mark had been adopted as a young child, but I never pried for details. Still, I didn't understand why this was funny, or why she sounded kind of sad about it. So I asked, "Really? That's interesting. He never mentioned it. Why is that funny, though?" She sighed and paused for a moment before saying, "Sometimes situations like this leave some lasting memories. He wasn't a baby when we got him. I don't know how much he actually remembers, but Chicago was not good for him." She quickly changed the subject after that, and we hung up shortly thereafter. So strange. I wish I had more to tell you, but I'm running late to work as is. I'll let you all know if anything else happens. I just want one calm night to try and get my head on straight. Nikki. Well, there you guys go. That was part 4 of There's Something Wrong with My Fiancé. There are 3 more parts. 3. I don't know what's going on with Mark. I mean, he's acting strange. There's a weird guy that disappeared. Now there's another character that's been brought up into the story. I just don't know. If you have any ideas of what's going on with this story, if you've been keeping up, leave them in the comments below. Since I got a new camera, I'm allowed to use my actual phone. So please give me a thumbs up so we know. And please follow all my social media down below in the description. And click over there to subscribe, like right beside my head. And I will see you all in the next video, which will be on Thursday. Peace out, chillers.